I'm going to call the meeting of the Utility Commission to order, January 14th. And if I could impose upon you, Dr. Johnson, would you lead us in prayer?
I'd be happy to.
Okay. And followed by the pledge to allegiance.
Let us all bow our heads. Father God, we just thank you for this day and thank you that we are alive. And as the old folks would say, among the land of the living. We come this evening to take care of the business of Fort Valley. And we are asking that you would be with us and help us to make good decisions. And then, Lord, help us to do the best that we can. These and all of the blessings we ask in your name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to welcome our visitors, and if they have any comments, we'll take those at this time. Steve, you have anything? Victor, videographer, glad to have y'all with us. Okay, approval of the minutes from the work session of December the 3rd. Unless there are some corrections, I will entertain a motion to accept those as written.
I would like to make a motion that the minutes be accepted as written.
Okay? Okay. Motion been made by Dr. Johnson and seconded by Mr. Horton. Is there any other discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. Thank you. Okay, activity reports, beginning with Director of Financial Services, Kathy Johnson.
Good evening. For the month of December, the Finance Department completed financials, bank reconciliation, and trial balance accounts for the month of November. In customer service, we had 5,021 payments. 41% of the payments were made with check, 27% with cash, and 27% with a credit card. We had 521 customers pay at the drive-through compared to 569 in November, so it was just around 40 less. Customer service initiated 550 service orders. In December, we had 47 new customers register online, bringing the total registered to 1,458, which is 24% of our total customers are now registered online. And we issued 42 arrangements. The IT department continued to work on network setup at the HQ building and assisting the superintendents, foremen, and admin staff with their move into the new building.
Any questions? I had one. Surprised I hadn't asked this before now, but how is the drive-in working? Has that been a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10? Or is it
The only thing I've ever heard is good, where customers will tell the tellers how much they enjoy having the drive-through. I haven't heard anything negative.
The response has been positive. We're trying to push more people in that direction. Take them a little bit to get used to it getting there.
Yeah, but you can see as the numbers, they were down a little bit this year, but our total payments were down for the month too. But we have seen an increase. We started with 100 and something a month, and now we're almost at 600 a month using it.
And a lot of times when I'm over here and I talk to people, I forgot it's all. So it's just going to take some time, but it's a hit.
Okay. Electric and telecommunications. Jason?
Good evening. The month of December, we like to use to get up to date on a lot of our inspections and recertifications. So in December, we had all of our fire extinguishers inspected for all the departments, all the trucks, all the different facilities. We also recertified all of our employees with DOT flagging classes. We have an annual GMA training that's required for the safety liability grant that we apply for every year. We do that in December. And that's kind of how we use December with a short amount of work days to catch up on certifications in this case.
Okay, any questions of Jason or comments? Okay, thank you, Jason. Water Department, Gary's not here. Any questions or comments for that department? Reclamation, Keith?
Month of December, we pressure cleaned right at 4,300 feet of sewer main. The plant, we had 6.8 inches of rain for the month, and our monthly flow total for the plant was 41.1 million gallons.
Questions or comments for him? Okay, thank you, Keith. General Manager, Craig Mims.
Got a couple of things, but I'd like to start by wishing everybody a happy New Year. Some of you haven't seen this year, so happy New Year. I'd like to add that the move-in, the administrative staff has moved into the new facility. We expect construction to be completed by the end of February, so they're still working on the meeting space and conference room and entrance, but the offices at the rear are now available to us. So myself and Penny and Martha, we're out of the trailers and we actually have office space to work in, and we have these things called bathrooms now. So, that's been a good thing. So that's it for me. I'm open to any questions anyone may have.
Well, I may stop by. I haven't been stuck my head in the door since they started.
Please do. Dr. Johnson came by just before we opened it up, but we're actually in there now, so.
I was very impressed with what I saw.
And hopefully they'll have your meeting space and conference room ready by the end of February.
Okay. Good. Okay, any questions or comments to Craig? Okay. There is no old business tonight. We have 2 items under new business, and we'll start with the Economic and Community Development Manager.
Yeah, Martha's not here tonight. That's a position that we brought forward last week for some discussion. We're hoping tonight that it would be the pleasure of the commissioners to approve us moving forward with hiring for that position. I would also like to add that there's no additional cost. We're going to fund this position from some vacancies we've had over the last 18 months. So there will not be an increase in our budget moving forward.
Can I ask, I don't know whether it was on there at the work session or not, I didn't pay attention to it. The pay grade 13B,
Yeah.
what is that in dollars?
I can't remember, Mayor. I can email it to you, but it's around 60, I think.
Sir,
It's around 60. I'd have to email it to you.
around 60,000?
Yeah.
Can you say you email it to me?
I'll have to email
Okay,
it to you.
thank you.
Okay, so we had discussed this in a work session last week, and I guess you're looking for action tonight?
Yes, sir,
Would that
we are.
be- okay. So I will entertain a motion to approve this Economic Development Manager, if I could get a motion and a second to that effect.
and you are gonna advertise for it, right?
That is correct.
I make a motion that we move for, allow the general manager to move forward with advertising for the position.
Okay.
I second the motion.
Okay. Motion by the mayor, seconded by Dr. Johnson. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. It's unanimous, thank you. Okay, and next is Commission Code of Ethics. Is that
I'll let
Joel?
Joel. Okay. Well, I presented at the work session a draft model for Fort Valley Utility Commission Code of Ethics. Answered questions at that meeting. This came about for multiple reasons, not the least of which is it goes along with the idea of economic community development manager. Frequently, Utility Commission is asked to present proposals to entities who may or may not locate here, and our Utility Commission may or may not be asked to hold certain matters in confidence pursuant to, as allowed in certain circumstances under the Open Meetings Act. And also may be required to execute certain documents that require you to not reveal information at the risk of liability because of trade secrets, et cetera. So one of the reasons why you want a code of ethics is you want to be able to define what you can and cannot reveal in terms of privileged confidential information that you might receive in the context of representing the citizens of the community. Other areas, when I look at it, I look for the code of ethics because it's standard practice in local government to have a code of ethics. The draft model code of ethics typically comes from GMA. This document largely came from the GMA model. I modified it a little bit to fit the particular needs of the Utility Commission. Any questions that you have that I didn't address at the work session, I'm happy to answer. But my recommendation is that you execute the Fort Valley Utility Commission Code of Ethics as I drafted it. And I'll answer any questions you have.
Mr. Chair, I have the same concern that I had in the work session. I think we should have a code of ethics. Every organization ought to have a code of ethics, written or unwritten. We ought to have a code of ethics. But I do have a problem with referring to the commission as a government. We have two governments in Fort Valley, and that's the County Commission and the City of Fort Valley. We have a bunch of boards. We have a lot of boards and we have a lot of commissions. But we only have two governments. And we voted in the work session to present it as is. I'm going to ask us, if we haven't researched like we ought to research, I'm going to ask us to substitute commission or board or whatever it is everywhere you've got government down there, because the Utility Commission is not a government.
Would you like to address that?
Please.
With all due respect, Mayor, we're in the middle of litigation, and I'm not going to comment on what the utility is and is not. But if you will look at the documents, you'll see that the references to government are largely ministerial. The very first sentence under Section 1, all government or right originates with the people. Then you go further down in Section 1, Paragraph 1. The trust of the citizens in their government is cultivated with individual servants. And when you have the word government in a document, you define it as what do you mean by government in the context of that document, and it means Fort Valley Utility Commission. Given how it's used in this document, it makes sense to call it government. In my opinion, I differ with the mayor. I present it as I drafted it.
If it was drafted behind the GMA model, the GMA represents governments, which is cities, not utility commissions. I'm just mentioning, on down further, you are saying, or you're defining the utility commission as a government, and that is inaccurate and inappropriate.
I stand by the previous statement and remind this commission that you are members of GMA with your own GMA number, I believe.
I'm a member of the Sheriff's Association. I pay my dues, but I'm not a sheriff. I send them money every year, but I'm not a sheriff. So, okay. I'm just faithfully asking if we would substitute the word government for commission. Let that be in the records, let that show in the minutes, please.
Sure, I haven't read the minutes from that meeting, but we actually
Work
had
session.
that discussion and
We did.
voted
And
during
y'all
that
voted,
discussion.
and yeah, you voted, but I
They
still
will
have the
be
same
reflected in
concern.
that meeting, but,
It's still inappropriate.
and they can be reflected in this meeting too, whatever.
Still inappropriate. If somebody could retract that motion, that's all it would take. But that's still inappropriate, and down the line, I think it's gonna come to bite us.
Okay, any other discussion? So, what is your pleasure, commissioners, with the code of ethics as presented by Attorney Bentley? So I hear a motion to,
I make a motion that we accept the code of ethics as written by our legal counsel.
I second that motion.
okay. Motion has been made by Mr. Horton and seconded by Dr. Johnson. Is there any other discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Okay. Those opposed? Okay. Let it be noted that the mayor is opposed to that, and the motion carries 3-1. And that is all of the written agenda, unless someone has something else. We will stand adjourned, I suppose. You want me to say that?
I did not know to start with here.